Worlds of Aria is a tabletop-style RPG that's obviously inspired by D&D. And there's a few people over at Game Sandwich who had high expectations because they love a good campaign. The story told within the Worlds of Aria is full of whimsy, has a bunch of amusing character interactions, and hits that all-so-important D&D itch that we've been trying to scratch. Unfortunately, not everything is great within the Worlds of Aria. So gather round as we break down all the highs and lows within the Worlds of Aria in this here review. A great co-op adventure. Worlds of Aria can be played by yourself, but like a true D&D campaign, it can also be played with up to 3 of your friends, making it a grand time if you do happen to know other people who own this game. But if you do happen to be playing by yourself, the empty slots are filled by CPUs that you could control. Throughout the campaign, you and your friends will be given choices with multiple outcomes. This means that each player within your party, or you yourself, are going to have to make important decisions along your journey. Now, depending on the actions taken, this will result in hilarious outcomes that you may not see coming. One minute you could be chasing a chicken, while the next you're trying to tame animals at the zoo. No matter how many different choices are made, the game follows each character and allows them to shine in their own regard. This really makes it feel like a true D&D campaign, scratching that all-so-important itch I mentioned at the start. While we did happen to do a solo run of this game, we had tried to match the choices that the characters we had chosen would make. This resulted in fun outcomes, and knowing there are a lot more choices to be made makes us want to replay this game even more to try them all out. Transferring tabletop to the small screen. The gameplay of Worlds of Aria is very similar to that of D&D if you are playing with figurines. You choose characters to take up various roles and embark on a quest for the ages. During the game, you must move your figurines to select what actions you wish to take, and that's all while encountering different scenarios in each chapter. This simplistic gameplay design, while repetitive after a while, makes it very accessible for anyone, even to those who are new to video games. Upon making your choices, you will make your rolls and accept the results, good or bad. The game uses the less conventional D100 style of gameplay, instead of the basic D20 style, but it works well for determining the outcomes of rolls, and makes the leveling system more impactful. When you take a level, your stat rises around 3 to 5 points, which makes a world of difference. Within our playthrough, it would have been nice to see the team switch up the gameplay a bit, since we got tired of moving characters to select actions. A more turn-based action style could have worked well for certain parts of the game, and that's all to make it feel more fluid. But what is here stands out amongst other RPGs. An unflattering user interface. The biggest pitfall of Worlds of Aria is its disastrous user interface. Throughout the game, you are required to move an on-screen hand to pick up your characters and select different icons. We could see how this could work well on the PC. Unfortunately, playing it on Nintendo Switch felt like a huge hindrance. Opening up the inventory of CPUs was a near impossible task, as the on-screen hand would constantly slide past the small icon. When tasked to pick up characters and move them to specific locations, especially within a small time limit, we couldn't because the UI acted so poorly. It got to the point where we largely ignored the inventory of the CPUs, so we didn't have to even bother with it. Along with this, picking up items on the screen to place them in our inventory would periodically throw the item behind the inventory screen, or place it in a part of the screen we couldn't reach. Now, with all that being said, what's the final verdict? Worlds of Aria is a fun experience to be had, either solo or within a group. The number of choices and this whimsical fantasy world are both compelling reasons to stick through the campaign, and that's all to reach your heroic end. While the gameplay can be rather repetitive, it is very easy to understand and accessible to anybody, making it decent in our book. The true downfall of Worlds of Aria isn't letting the dude get the Staff of Wisdom, which happens to kickstart the campaign, but rather, the clunky and periodically bugged out UI is the one thing that ruins this gameplay on the Switch. While Worlds of Aria has a few things going for it, like tons of choices that grant replayability whether you're playing solo or co-op, accessible gameplay that scratches that D&D itch, and amusing writing that genuinely made us laugh, it does have its faults. Like we mentioned earlier, the gameplay does tend to get repetitive, and that poorly designed and buggy UI doesn't really work well on the Switch. This all leaves Game Sandwich to give Worlds of Aria a 7 out of 10. If you did happen to enjoy today's video, or want to be up to date on all the latest gaming news, rumors, and reviews, keep it locked to Game Sandwich for content just like this, and we'll see you guys next time.